GeForce Genova versus Kyosho Dirtmaster. Hey there, how's it going? My name is David, welcome back to Kyosho RC. So yet more Genova versus Dirtmaster video content. Now before I go any further, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that watched and commented on my previous Dirtmaster videos. Your support is very much appreciated. So I got a lot of comments asking about how they would compare on a track, and so that's what I did. Over 2 days I took both buggies down to Carnosa RC Park. It was a weekday morning, so I pretty much had the circuit to myself the entire time. Did a lot of testing. Now in my previous review, I'll put a link in the description below, or click the pop-up banner up there. I thought they're pretty similar in terms of overall performance, but you don't really know exactly how they're going to perform until you go to a circuit. And so after a couple of days of running at the circuit, what can I tell you? Well, first of all, a disclaimer: I am no pro racing driver. I've got a lot of experience racing, but I wouldn't consider myself a pro or even expert racing driver. So take a lot of what I'm going to say with a huge grain of salt. Secondly, if you did watch my previous video, you'll know I wasn't able to put the exact same electronics in both of them. So they do have the same servo, the same receiver. Unfortunately, the ESC and motor are different. So just to recap, the Dirtmaster is running a brushed setup, a G15 from Kyosho single and a Hobbywing 1060. Whereas the Genova is running GeForce's Neofast brushless combo with the 17.5 turn motor. Now the speed difference is huge, and so to try and level the playing field, I did dial back the endpoints on the Dirtmaster throttle to approximately the same speed as the Genova. Now when it comes to timing, neither of these cars have any kind of transponder installed in them, so I was doing lap times using my transmitter lap time function. The lap times I'm going to give you later in this video are the average for clean laps on day 1 and day 2. Well, why was it there 2 days? Well, it only took me a couple of laps on day 1 to realize that the kit tires that come in the Genova, they're just completely useless when it comes to carpet, and it wouldn't be a fair comparison. So I had to swap them out with some carpet specific front tires. So as you're watching the footage, day 1 you'll see that the Genova is running yellow, fluorescent yellow wheels. They are carpet tires at the front and the kit tires at the back. And the Dirtmaster is running the black wheels, which are Dirtmaster kit tires, which, although superficially they look very similar to the Genova front tires, there are slight differences. The Dirtmaster tires are a lot softer, and they've got some lateral grooves in them, and that is just enough to give them a little bit better grip. It's not hugely better, but it's noticeable. So on day 1 it was basically Dirtmaster with its kit tires versus Genova with carpet front tires. Now a little bit about the buggies. I covered this in more detail in my previous video, but both of the buggies are built to manual specifications, so they're set up as per the manual, and that includes everything from camber, towing, roll center adjustments, upper links, shock mounting points, shock oil, etc. I put 45 weight shock oil in the Dirtmaster because you don't get any shock oil in the kit. And then when I took them to the carpet track that you see here, it's a high grip surface, so the first thing you need to do is lower them down as much as possible. So what can I tell you? They drive very similarly. Day 1, yeah, there wasn't really much in it. If I had to nitpick a few, again, I'm no pro racing driver, but the things that stood out to me were on the banks, the Genova's front end would tend to lift away from the wall earlier and easier than the Dirtmaster. The Genova with the carpet front tires had more grip at the front, and so the back end would tend to whip around a bit like snap oversteer if I tried to push it in the corners too much. Both of them, they would traction roll if I tried to carry too much corner speed, so I had to slow down for the corners. Now I'm not going to talk about acceleration or braking or anything like that because it's too dependent on the motor and electronics, but both of them, with the gearing and the motors that they had in them, and the Dirtmaster with its power output limited, they don't have enough power to clear the double at the back, so they were kind of landing awkwardly halfway on the up ramp for the second one. And I did notice that the Dirtmaster tended to land better, especially in harder jumps, whereas the Genova would bounce around, rebound a little bit more. But again, I'm just nitpicking, there really wasn't much in it. Now on day 2 I went back and I wanted to eliminate one more variable for the purpose of testing, and that was tires. So what I ended up doing was putting my Yokomo YZ2 two-wheel drive tires and wheels and tires on both buggies. So on day 2, when you see the footage, they're running with white wheels. They are Yokomo front and rear wheels, and the tires are, I can never remember the name of them. The fronts are VP Pro Wedge Evo, and the rears are VP Pro Pyramid Evo. Now both the front and rear tires, more so the rear, were partially worn. I'd used them on the YZ2 quite a bit, and so the rears didn't have as much traction. So if you watch the footage, you'll see both of them went to a power slide. I actually quite like the way it handled. Now on to lap times. Well, again, I want to stress, I don't think you should put too much emphasis on lap times, because they're just so dependent on driver's skill and so many variables that, I don't want anybody to think, well, okay, this buggy got a better lap time, so it must be better, so I should buy that one. No. This is just to give you a general idea. Now, Carnosa circuit, the current layout, for reference, I can lap it in my YZ2 around 18 seconds. I managed to get into the high 16s with my YZ4 the other day. I have no idea what the lap times for something like DTO2 or TTO2B would be. I'd guess around 23 to 24 seconds. So on day 1, the average of all of my clean laps with the Genova came out to about 22.3 seconds, and for the Dirtmaster, a hair faster at 21.8. So as you can see, there really isn't a lot in it. I mean, driving them back to back, there was some minor differences, but nothing big. And one of the first things you learn about, once you start racing on the carpet track, is setup is absolutely everything. You can have the most expensive, capable, high-end buggy that money can buy, but if it's not got the right tires and it's not set up correctly, it's just not going to handle very well. And the same is true for any kit. And so both of these buggies are running the setup that the manual tells you to run. So if you were to spend some time tuning for the track that you're running on, and changing things like camber, toe in, roll center, shock mounting point, shock oil, diff oil, etc., you can significantly improve the handling, and I think that would be the case here. Both of them, I would imagine the manual is asking you, well, basically getting you to set them up for general use, dirt more than anything else. It's certainly in the Dirtmaster, it's set up for dirt, not indoor carpet. And so, with some setup changes, I'm sure those lap times would come down. I found the biggest issue on the high grip carpet surface was just body roll. Neither of them have any anti-roll bars, and so they just tend to traction roll. If you up the traction and tries it, it just becomes even worse. And so that's one thing I definitely want to look at. And another thing is, they can't really be lowered any more than they already are. So certainly you want to look at damper changes, to try and get them a bit lower, and that would certainly help with the cornering ability. Now onto day 2, I put the exact same wheels and tires on both of them. So I ran the Genova, pulled the wheels off, put them on the Dirtmaster, ran the Dirtmaster, and then went back to the Genova and went back to the Dirtmaster. And so for day 2, lap times improved slightly for both of them. The Genova dropped down to 21.9 seconds and the Dirtmaster 21.1. So again, the Dirtmaster was a hair faster. This was the average over, I guess it would have been like 30 or 40 laps, clean laps. And once again, I want to stress, I'm just using the lap timer function on my transmitter, so accuracy and the possibility of errors is in there, but it gives you an idea. Me personally, if I was to choose one purely to run a track, I would lean towards the Dirtmaster. I think it's got more potential, and certainly being based on the RB5 chassis, there's going to be a lot more option parts available just out in the wild already. And that, I think a lot of people that have seen the Dirtmaster down at my local circuit tend to agree that the Dirtmaster is probably the slightly better of the two. But if you're wanting something in middle price range that's going to be really good at the track, then you should seriously look at the newly released Yokomo Rookie Off-Road, because it's basically a Yokomo YZ2 plastic version, and it's a mid-motor mount, so it's just going to handle a lot better on an indoor carpet track. So a couple of other random observations that don't really fit in anywhere else. After 2 days of running these back to back, I much prefer the installation and removal of the battery on the Genova. So the Genova uses Velcro for the body. You can use snap pins, but you don't have to. And then the battery is held in place by a Velcro strap. So getting the battery in and out of the Genova is quite easy. The Dirtmaster, on the other hand, it's snap pins, 3 of them for the body. You could modify it to fix it in place with some Velcro. The other thing is the Dirtmaster uses snap pins again for the battery holder, and so taking the battery in and out of the Dirtmaster involves, well, in my case, 5 snap pins, and it can be a bit tedious after a while. What else? Oh, this is totally subjective, but the sound, I much prefer the sound of the Dirtmaster to the Genova. I think the motor has a lot to do with it. The Neofast motors from G-Force are very brushless, are very clicky. Is that a word? They're very clicky, and they don't sound too nice. I much prefer the brush sound of the Dirtmaster, but it's a total personal preference. Incidentally, they may or may not be a blooper reel at the end of this video of all my outtakes. I get the impression that a lot of people think my driving is really good because when they see a video there's hardly any crashes in it, but of course I'm editing it to show you the best. I have plenty of crashes, and the Dirtmaster wing will attest to that. Incidentally, you would imagine just looking at them that the Genova wing being so much larger than the Dirtmaster would be the one that gets ripped off and damaged quickly, but in fact the opposite was true. The Dirtmaster wing is looking a bit worse for wear, whereas the Genova has got not a scratch on it, so that's something. Well, I hope you found this video useful. As I say, if you're debating between the two, unless you're in Japan, I can't really recommend the Genova over the Dirtmaster. The Genova is still not officially sold outside Japan, so although there are channels and means and ways to pick one up, getting spares and support for the Genova is just not going to be as easy as the Dirtmaster, which is going to be, well, it should be coming out worldwide later this month. Well, that was all from me. I'll catch you next one. My name is David. This is Kyosho RC. Happy RCing, everyone.